Hey, it's me here, and today I have a very special treat for you. We get to live vicariously through three very brave astronauts as they go out on a spacewalk. That's right, I'm talking about an actual spacewalk, not one of those cheesy ones with actors that you sometimes see online. And if that weren't enough, while the spacewalk is going on, the rest of the crew are also busy doing science. The work never stops for the astronauts on board the International Space Station. So buckle up. It's time for a spacewalk and a busy day of science. NASA astronaut Anne McClain and spaceflight participant Nichole Ayers have just completed their long-duration extravehicular activity, or EVA, the kind that happens beyond the safety of the International Space Station's airlock, but still tethered to the outpost. Together, they upgraded a pair of electrical power units that help regulate the station's battery charge and discharge. This was actually the first of two scheduled EVAs for this set of upgrades. They had to split it up because the first one ran long. And yeah, these things can take a lot longer than expected when you're working in space. In all, this particular EVA lasted 5 hours and 46 minutes, beginning at 20:59 UTC on October 27, 2023, and ending at 0045 UTC on October 28. These long spacewalks are pretty intense, physically and mentally. Astronauts need to be incredibly fit and trained to do them, and they're always full of surprises, sometimes even dangerous ones. I mean, we're talking about people working outside in the vacuum of space. That said, spacewalks like this one are critical for maintaining the health and function of the space station, which in turn enables the vital research that happens there. These upgrades to the power regulation systems will ensure that the batteries on board the ISS can keep functioning properly and keep the lights on for years to come. Without them, there could be power outages, equipment failures, and a whole host of other problems. But the work doesn't end there. After spending nearly 6 hours in the unforgiving environment of space, McClain and Ayers returned to the safety of the airlock, where they were greeted by fellow astronauts Woody Hoburg, Sultan Al-Niyadi, and Andre Kippers. And what did they do next? You guessed it, science. For NASA's McClain, her first experiment was the microbial barometer project, which studies how bacteria behave in the microgravity environment of space. Specifically, she was looking at how bacteria grow and change shape under different conditions, which can tell us more about how life adapts to extreme environments. Why is this important? Well, understanding how life works in space could help us answer some big questions about the origins of life on Earth and whether or not life could exist on other planets. Plus, this research could also inform future missions to Mars and beyond by helping us understand the risks of sending humans into deep space. Meanwhile, the other astronauts were busy with some agricultural research. They photographed tomato plants on board the station to document their growth and development. This is part of a larger study to determine the feasibility of growing food in space using 3D printed soil. The idea is that one day astronauts on long-duration missions could grow fresh produce on Mars or the Moon instead of relying on pre-packaged food. It might sound like a futuristic fantasy, but it's actually a real possibility that NASA and other space agencies are actively researching. Then there's the Russian segment of the ISS, where cosmonauts Sergei Prokopyev, Dmitry Petelin, and Francisco Rubio got in on the science action. They focused on two experiments, CosmoBio and BioRisk, which study the effects of long-duration spaceflights on the human body. One of the experiments looked at how the heart and blood vessels adapt to microgravity over time, while the other studied the immune system and inflammatory processes. This kind of research is crucial for ensuring the safety of future Russian missions to the Moon and Mars, as well as for understanding the broader implications of living in space for long periods. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, literally. Astronauts working on upgrades to the International Space Station, conducting groundbreaking research on bacteria and growing tomatoes in space. But there's still more to unpack. We haven't even talked about the incredible views that these astronauts get to experience every day. Imagine looking out of your window and seeing the Earth as this tiny blue marble floating in the vast darkness of space. That's the view that these astronauts get to enjoy every day, which makes their hard work just a little bit more bearable. We also haven't talked about the challenges that these astronauts face, both physically and mentally. Living in space for long periods of time can be extremely isolating and lonely, and the astronauts have to deal with homesickness, culture shock, and separation anxiety. On top of that, they have to deal with the physical challenges of living in a zero-gravity environment, things like muscle and bone loss, as well as the psychological toll of isolation and confinement. It's a testament to the strength and resilience of these individuals that they are able to overcome these challenges and do their jobs. These missions are also incredibly complex and dangerous. From the risk of equipment failure to the ever-present danger of space debris, there's always the potential for disaster. Yet, these astronauts put their lives on the line every time they go on a spacewalk or conduct research in such a hostile environment. Living on the ISS is not all spacewalks and scientific research. There's also plenty of downtime when the crew gets to relax and enjoy the unique experience of living in space. They might take a stroll around the station, watch a movie, or even take in the stunning views of the Earth. After all, they are in the unique position of being able to see our planet like no one else can. So what does a typical day look like for the crew of the ISS? Well, it's not quite what you might expect. For one thing, there's no such thing as a weekend or a holiday in space. The work never stops, and the schedule is determined by the needs of the research and the demands of the station itself. A typical day might start with some exercise. The astronauts have to work out for 2 hours every day to keep their muscles and bones strong. After that, it's time for some science. Every astronaut has specific tasks to complete, from conducting experiments to maintaining the station, and these tasks can take up a big chunk of their day. Of course, there's also the time zone difference to consider. Communication with Houston, mission control for NASA's part of the ISS, can be tricky since there's a 20-hour difference between the two locations. That means that the astronauts' days start and end at different times than the rest of the world. But it's not all work and no play. The astronauts also have time to relax and enjoy the unique experience of living in space. They might take a break to watch the sunrise or sunset over the Earth, or take a moment to appreciate the silence of space. In fact, many astronauts report feeling a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty of space that never wears off. Overall, a day in the life of an astronaut on the ISS is a mix of hard work, scientific discovery, and sheer wonder. It's a unique and challenging way to live, but for these brave individuals, it's an adventure of a lifetime. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share and like it. Your support means a lot to us. Thanks for watching.